If you open up Google and type in, will AI take my job? You are going to find a bunch of articles and a bunch of blog posts about it because AI is getting real. In the past few weeks, a couple of business owners reached out to me because I'm building AI chatbots and voice agent and such and automations. And so they asked me like, hey, Peter, can we jump on a call just to understand how we can apply AI in businesses? So they know already that ChatGPT and all other tools are out there, and then basically I can or they can talk to the AI. But what are the practical business applications of AI? That's the real question, because business owners start to realize that AI is here and AI is here to stay. And in any given market, AI is going to come in and really revolutionize the way business is conducted, or different functions within the businesses are conducted, such as sales, marketing, or image generation, or anything. And so the AI revolution is really here and it's here to stay. And so you can go into Google and find a bunch of articles and a bunch of researches, which I don't even know if I should trust them anymore, right? Like, researchers show whatever they want to show. The biggest lies are generally behind the statistics. And so there is one thing for sure, and these two sentences are basically my research on AI. Humans look for comfort, and human looks for the path of least friction. And if you go back in time, if you have a pattern recognition at all, a little bit, then you are going to realize that everything, the drive-throughs, the any construct that is within our life, like building cars or building buildings or building heating systems or whatever we are using day to day, it's always because of the comfort and the path of least friction. This is who we are as humans. We always look for comfort. It's much better to lay down in a comfortable bed in a warm home than being in the caves, right? You can use your brain capacity, that extra surplus energy that you are gaining with not fighting with the cold, to something useful, something more meaningful. And so this is everything I need, and I think this is everything anyone needs to kind of justify that AI is really here to stay. You can just think of the dot-com era when companies were going online, and you can think of how commerce changed with e-commerce, and you can go into any market and realize that this is going to be staying here. I brought a couple of examples. For example, the tractors. Before the tractors existed, there were hundreds of people out in the fields were doing this very same thing. The very same outcome was coming out from 100 people than one single tractor that now today can be basically automatically managed by via satellites, or maximum you need one person who operates it, right? And then you could claim that to build a tractor, you need a ton of engineers and a ton of people on the lines of the production lines. But at the end of the day, the whole process, the outcome, is much more efficient using tractors than using people with hand tools, basically. Another example can be candle versus electricity light, right? It's so much easier and so much more consistent to use electricity. You, of course, need to build out the wiring in the building, and then outside of the building, as you can see, a famous picture from Las Vegas, or a famous city, I should rather say. And then you could still use candles. But what if you run out of candles in the middle of the night? Then it's really not easy. You could claim that electricity can also run out, or can be a blackout in the city or something. But for some reason, we just still use electricity because it's so much easier. It's really the least friction. A couple of hundreds of years ago, or for hundreds of years, basically, we were using horses or other livestock to kind of travel around, like mainly horses, honestly. And we kind of changed that to different kind of horses. It's not necessarily easier to produce the car than use horses, but it's much more comfortable. You can travel much faster, much more comfortably, right? So it's still adding a huge benefit. And now I could even put like planes to the side, because with horses we can go a couple 100 miles, we can go a couple 1,000 miles with car within the same time frame, and then we can go across the globe with a plane just in like 12 hours. Like within 24 hours, we can be anywhere in the planet by using planes, which is crazy. And then if I would put Elon Musk on this map, after the planes, really there could be the space traveling and spaceships. So we can really expand the scope of what we can do in a certain time frame travel wise, right? And what is common with all of these, and everything with the AI and the dot-com era and everything, it's about the adoption curve. It's the technology adoption curve. If you type it in Google, you're going to find something like this, a diagram. And so you can see that people always doubt in the beginning that certain technology is going to be adapted, but at the end of the day, it is going to be inevitable that majority of the population is going to use that technology. If it's obviously and without a doubt, it's gonna be giving a huge advantage to every single human being. So you can think of TV or radio in the communication space, or as I said previously, electricity or airplane, telephone, again in terms of communication, automobile, or PC, internet, anything that is related to internet and computers. People always doubt that new thing is gonna be disruptive, but just think of it like all of these technologies that are on this adoption curve have changed the world tremendously, and AI isn't going to be any different. Well, it actually may be a little bit different, but for the better or for the worse, you can decide for yourself. But the only difference is that all of these technologies really just shifted the workforce. Like, we don't need to have as much horses anymore, but we need to have people to build the cars or design the cars. We need to have people who make the wiring or create the lights on the manufacturing line. Or we still, as I said, need the people to build the tractors. So we just became more efficient, and we didn't really destroy the need of having people working and doing something to build something. We just made it more efficient. And so this is what is happening right now with AI and AI employees, because most of the AI tools are still not as advanced that they could basically work by themselves. It's just really good enough if you are combined with a human brain who can figure out the workflow or the specific task that we trained the AI employee to focus on. Then the AI employee can fulfill that specific task very, very efficiently. So this is where we are standing right now. But the dangers of AI and the opportunity of AI is really AI can completely eliminate the need of having people working at all. Because once we reach the point where AI employees are so smart, then you don't need employees, human employees at all. So this is kind of can be the last technological advancement before we would not shift around the workforce, but completely eliminate the need of having a human workforce. I don't want to make any estimations to the future of how it's going to impact society. It's definitely going to impact a lot, but this video is not about that. It's more about how to prepare for it today and how to take advantage of it today, especially if you are someone who is specifically designing AI agent, AI employees, or having like an AI automation agency, or if you're a business owner who just wants to be more efficient, then it's something that you have to wrap your head around and start to implement it. Because today there are basically almost no companies, no decent sized companies without a website, right? Or without a Google presence, or without a social profile. Where do you get your clients from if it's not online, right? You seriously need a online presence, which you wouldn't have needed 40 years ago, for example. So it's going to be the same with AI, and it's just a much more rapid adoption that is happening with AI to companies. So I really, really highly recommend to start to really be interesting around this, because I tell you, your competitors are interested, and there will be companies who survive because they adopt AI, and there will be companies who won't survive because they say we just stick with the old way, right? So you don't have to like do any crazy changes or change your entire business model or anything, but you have to be more efficient by using AI. So let me go to some practical examples here. There are a lot of companies who are creating AI employees, such as Cintra. They have like 12 different AI employees. Let me go over to their website real quick, so you can see that they have, I love the pricing shows it perfectly, that they do have a media manager, AI, someone who is a customer support agent, someone who is a business strategist. That's crazy. Pen is a copywriting agent. Gigi is a personal growth coach. Wizzy is a executive assistant. So you can tell that really any online, basically anything that is related to like online activities, they pretty much cover it with AI agents. So recruitment partners. So this is a very very good platform. I'm very curious about. So I'm gonna test the hell out of it, and I'm going to make a separate video of Cintra specifically. But let's move forward. What other companies there are who are already building pretty advanced AI agents? So for example, Devin is another one who is basically helping you to create software. So it's really like a software development agent. And if you are just a little bit familiar with the salaries in the software development space, if you can hire an AI team instead of paying for an office and paying for a nice environment, because software developments require a nice environment, right? Because they had the luxury in the past decade. They were high paid, they were delivering very, very important work. And right now they still do, because you still need a higher level software development team to create these platforms like Devin or Cintra. There are still software and tech people behind it, right? They are just thinking on a much higher level. Like for example, there's a software called Bubble, where you can literally create a software as a service solution, basically just drag and drop, no coding required. But it's because there was a dev team who created that platform, and then there is still a higher level of software development required to build that kind of platform. You really have to see where the workforce is shifting and what kind of knowledge is going to be useful in the future. But as a business owner, as a local business owner, or an e-com business owner who have copywriting, media creatives, or hiring workflows, customer service employees, for example, if you are a restaurant owner or someone who has a lot of inbound calls or chats through the web chat, then these are extremely important to know about these platforms, that they are already existing. Another one that I really like is Agentive. Very, very similar. You can build AI agents just like on the other two mentioned platforms. And then there are a few others where you can basically build your very own systems, such as like Blend AI for voice calling agents. It's more customizable. It's more like a lower level skill required. It's still drag and drop, and you can still make it very, very easy. You still don't need to program. Or another one is a VAPI or VoiceFlow. Those are the ones that I really like to build with. Or High Level. High Level is the other one. I'm actually a big High Level fan, and you're gonna see on the next matrix that in a lot of cases I use High Level myself to build AI solutions. These are really the few companies that I wanted to mention, that they already exist and it's here to stay. As I said, a lot of business owners lately started to ask me like, hey, Peter, I just want to first understand the whole space, or like how should I start with AI, and how should I start thinking about AI and thinking about implementing AI to my business? I generally explain to them with this AI matrix that I just throw up here. So I divide it to 4 distinct categories. One axis is going to be inbound/outbound in terms of communication direction. And the other one is voice/chat, or I should say voice/written or text. It doesn't really matter if it's a chatbot or it's like an email communication or something, but it's a written format. That's what matters. And then you could say that, there are also text to image, text to video, and text to a lot of things. But at the end of the day, I think the most useful and important functions today for business, especially for sales, marketing flows, customer service flows, or anything similar to that, are going to be voice or chat based. It's not going to be image or video based. That's one point. And the second point is that image and video is not yet producing a reliable outcome where you can really tell that it's not produced via AI, which is not necessarily a problem, right? There are a lot of faceless YouTube channels nowadays that coming out that they are basically producing everything by AI, also the videos, also the animations. But you can say that it's fine. The technology is definitely going to go ahead. By the time you watch this video, there might be a platform out already who produces videos and images much more reliably and with much less iterations. But the ones that can be really put into a workflow and can be built a reliable automation is going to be voice or chat based or text based or something like that. So if I build like a one-shot prompt that I push through an automation through that prompt, I can expect a reliable answer on a large enough scale with voice or chat. I can expect much less reliable ones with image or video. So that's why I really put up here that I really think that there are inbound and outbound communication direction, and there are voice and written. And I think these are the most helpful today for local businesses, for e-com brands, for any kind of online service providers or online businesses. The inbound, let's start with the inbound because that's kind of easier. Inbound voice call, you really just need a phone number, and then you can use VAPI Blend AI as well here, or high level. I think high level is the easiest, and a lot of things can be done with high level. I would turn over to VAPI or Blend AI, and I would involve those platforms if I would need like much more advanced solutions. But generally, it's for customer support agents, inbound sales agents, and stuff like that. And then inbound chat can be again a chat widget on the website, or it could be built for WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, or some social platform. And basically, it's a chat agent who can communicate back and forth. Actually, a lot of inbound chat agents are also in text messages, SMS, because the open rate of a text message is really, really high. So I believe that that's a really, really good platform for building agents for text messages. These two can be also combined. So, for example, if the lead or someone outside of the company calls the company, then they can speak, and then if they have a request, for example, booking a call or something like that, then the confirmation message can go out in text message, right? If the call is booked. So this can be really combined, and then they have that written and saved on their phone, and also an email can go out because they might forget the appointment that they set with the agent. And then there is the outbound voice and chat, which I would divide it down more than the inbound voice and chat. So the outbound voice is, I think, the hardest to achieve, I believe, because there are a lot of law and regulations, and the tools out there, even with high level, Blend AI and VAPI are pretty advanced, but high level, for example, not yet have a outbound voice function. As far as I know, from a legal perspective, you can only do outbound voice call to in a B2B setting, so to businesses, but you cannot call individual persons. So, for example, you definitely need first an inbound, like an opt-in form or something where the lead actually expresses their interest towards something, and then you can launch an outbound voice agent to call them and actually try to set an appointment or close them for a service or a product. So that's something important to keep in mind. But definitely, once outbound voice is available to the masses, it's gonna be crazy, and you should protect your phone number after that thing happens. But until then, not many people are using this, and really, these two can wipe out entire departments of people and offices. Just imagine one person, one small agent like this, can really wipe out an entire hundreds of people, really, if you have the bandwidth and the capacity with the software. And it's way cheaper, especially that you don't have to pay for the office and equipment and anything. And the outbound chat is much easier. And honestly, outbound chat and voice is really just for sales, right? Like there is not really a function where you don't have any attachment with the company, so they don't call you, right? Because they don't even know about you. That's the only case when outbound is applicable to like go out and call the people. It's only sales related. So, for example, what I can say for outbound chat is, for example, instantly. So if you do cold email outbound, you can use AI to basically write custom emails by scraping custom information for every single person who is on your list. So that's something that is very interesting. Also, there is a tool called Auto IGDM. I just recently found this and I started using it within our company. This is a crazy good tool, honestly, because you can scrape accounts and posts, like who followed that post or who follows that account. And then basically it can human emulate the outbound text writing and then send out 50 DMs every day, because 50 is the limitation by Instagram. They're not gonna block you at 50. So basically, for $37, you can send out over almost over 1,500 messages every month for $17 to a targeted audience. I don't think that you can ever hire someone for $37 to send out 1,500 messages, even if they are the same copy paste. So this is extremely interesting. And these are the two tools that came to my mind. But definitely, in terms of outbound, there are probably a lot of other tools. At the moment, I think it's mostly email or social outbound. Or if it's a phone outbound, then obviously it's going to be voice or maybe text message. You can also do like a custom AI written text message workflow with outbound written. So these are really for the outbound. And then inbound, it has much more functionality because customer service agents expect to have calls from people, so it's not just entirely sales related. So I always break down the AI landscape as of today. There's something like this, and there are obviously the outliers. I could write something here like image and video generation and such. I could also mention that voice generation can be in the workflow with platforms like 11 Lab, where you can generate voice, but it's still voice and written. It's not image or video. So those are pretty reliable. And then for video editors or someone who is doing really a creative work, or logo designers or design agencies, there's the image and the video agents that can really help out. But even if I think of Cintra, there is not really a image or video editing as of right now. If you know any reliable platform where you can easily produce images or videos in high quality, then drop it in the comments, because I'm very, very curious and I would be keen to try them myself. So you can see personal SEO here, sales strategist, e-commerce manager. So it's really, really about text or voice or something like that. At the end, I just wanted to mention a couple of use cases, which honestly I already did here in the matrix, but let's see here all together. So for example, software development, it's pretty obvious with Devin, customer service agents. This is a big one, and it's kind of easy to change because there are a lot of repetitive questions that people ask over the phone. And service booking and sales booking, which I mean, for example, under service booking is that if I work at a nail salon, or I have a nail salon, or I have a restaurant, then I can book that service automatically. Or for example, sales, if I sell the service, then this can be semi or fully automized. And then I can build personal assistants. As I mentioned, the design related AI employees, image video, I think it's going to come later. And one that is very, very interesting, probably only the systems integrators are going to be excited about this, is automations to transform humanly data to structured data. It's very, very, very important because, for example, in case of the voice agent or the chat agent, what if I, as a human, I recognize that today is Tuesday, and I say I want my doctor's appointment to this Saturday at 5 p.m. Well, it's a humanly data because some other people behave differently, and they might go to the calendar and tell the date exactly, or they even tell the time zone by themselves. But some people won't. Some people will just say, give me something this week or something like that. So these are all humanly type of communication, but it needs to be structured for the computer to understand what this person actually wants. When you build agents, or this is where I say a certain prompt that you use for one-shot prompting, you have a very sporadic, very high volatility information in the beginning that you have to kind of like structurize in a certain format. So sticking with this example, I need to extract the date. I need to extract the exact time where the person wants to book a call, and I need to extract the exact time zone if I'm across multiple time zones. I need to write a prompt where I really structurize this data, and when I input to the calendar to check that availability, then I structurize through a certain regardless what my incoming data was coming in. Because this Friday, 5 p.m. can be explained 500 different ways, but the computer is going to understand only one certain structurized data format. This is something that is very, very useful. Most of the users won't even understand that AI already working is in the backend by structurizing certain data and analyzing data and such. But this is something that a very, very interesting and very useful use case that I am using basically every single week. And mostly the people who are going to build these automations, such as myself, will understand what I just said very, very well. All right, so this is my very quick overview of where the entire AI landscape is, and kind of answering if AI is going to take your job or not. It certainly will transform the landscape of businesses and the world, basically. A lot of things are going to change. So you have to make a objective analysis of your situation at the moment, and then say if you feel safe or not, and then be honest with yourself and tell yourself if you don't feel safe, then start to research or reach out to someone who knows more about the topic, or try different platforms, and then try to play around with this. Open up a lucid chart such as I did, and then try to like build out your own business flow and try to understand, okay, where do I have a lot of human resources spent that is like a very simple and easy task and that might be automated. Just to ask the question, because I promise, if you take a look at your business, you probably have just a couple of areas where you already have significant opportunity to be more efficient. And it doesn't mean that you have to get rid of your employee necessarily, but maybe your employee can be 5 times more efficient, and then your company can be more efficient. Everything all comes down to your revenue per employee, honestly. Because if you have a high revenue per employee, you can make yourself more comfortable, for example, giving out raises to your people so they can get higher salaries, right? So you have a much more comfortable business environment where you are not squeezing every penny out of every software tool or every human being that works for you. So I think it's a huge responsibility of business owners, not just to make more money, but to make more money for everyone. It all comes down to efficiency, and the biggest efficiency glitches in the entire world are always when technology changes are happening, and this is what's happening right now. I wish you have a nice rest of the day. Look around on the channel for other videos, or if you want to have a consultation call to discuss over your ideas of how to improve your business in terms of AI systems, then in the description, book a call with me. It's completely free of charge, and I'm going to tell you my honest opinion, and then we will see if we can work together or not. Have a nice rest of the day. Bye.